us to introduce our special guests. Mr. Jeff's going to get some right now, so remember you're going to stay in your seat. You'll have time to ask lots of questions, or if you guys want to share anything about them. What do you guys see?
I got snakes.
So we're going to be talking about different snakes today. We brought something that's in its actual habitat from our house. I'm going to let Mr. Jeff take over and tell you about the different animals we brought, okay?
I brought 3 different types of animals for you guys. I brought pythons, boas, and a couple geckos. Pythons and boas are snakes, and geckos are kind of like lizards. So the one thing you guys need to know is that boas have live babies and pythons lay eggs. So what I'm going to show you right now is a boa. This is a Brazilian rainbow boa. So her name is Rasta. She actually lives in the rainforest. So these guys live like on the ground, and they live where there's lots of water. Very smooth. You guys are welcome to touch if you'd like. She's not going to bite.
Oh, good job. You just used one.
Just use one finger.
Not like children. No, not at all. Is it real?
Yes, it's real. She curls up in a ball because she's a little uncomfortable. I'll stretch her out here in a second. So we're going to have questions here in a few minutes.
Did you boys want to touch this?
Did you guys want to touch? You do? Okay. All right, here we go.
Just one finger. You guys are doing awesome.
Actually,
there you go.
Wait, it's very smooth.
Very, very
Raise your hand,
smooth.
say what it felt like. What did it feel like? Raise your hand.
It felt slobbery.
Slobbery?
It felt sick. Oh, is she snaking away?
So she's kind of like what I would call a teenager for a snake. She's not a baby, but she's kind of like a teenager. So she's going to get a lot bigger. She's going to get about that big around when she's full grown.
Big is she going to get longer?
Yep, she's going to get longer and thicker. But she actually won't, her personality will stay the same. So she'll see how nice she is. She's going to continue to be nice. One thing that you guys should know about boas is these guys are not going to lay eggs. These guys are going to have live babies. So all the babies, whenever they get pregnant, the babies start to form here in the body. And so whenever it's time for her to have birth, she'll have a big litter of babies. And that can take around 6 months.
I think it can get long like our class.
Long like your class?
Yeah.
She won't get that long. She's going to get maybe 4 to 5 feet. So she's going to get from like here to maybe like here. So I'm going to bring out another one real quick. So this was Rasta, and she's a Brazilian rainbow boa. This one I'm going to bring out. This is a python. So these guys don't have live babies. They have eggs. So python eggs, they call them incubating. So they will let the eggs, they'll keep them at kind of a hot temperature, and then eventually the eggs hatch. So this is a python.
Oh dear.
Yep.
That one's a big one.
This is Khaleesi. She's a Woma python. So these guys live in the deserts of Australia. So like the rainbow boa that you just saw lived in the rainforest and the jungle, these guys live in the desert. So if you get these guys around a lot of water,
I've never seen a real snake.
well, you're going to see lots of them today. Would you guys like to touch?
Yes.
All right, let's keep her head away.
Yes. Yes. No.
So you can tell her scales are a lot different than what you just felt.
She's squishy.
Do you guys notice that she's a different color too?
Yeah.
Do you know why
she
some
gonna
snakes are
bite?
certain colors?
No, she's not going to bite. You guys can touch her tail. Her head's near me.
She looks like a tiger.
Yes.
Maybe
Jeff,
touch her
maybe
butt.
tell them why it would be good for this type
She's
of
like
snake
a
to be the color
squishy.
she is in the desert.
In the desert, the color of the sand that she lives in the ground. So she's going to burrow down. She's going to go into like burrows or holes that were dug by other animals, and she's going to live in those. And the sand is red. So that's kind of the color of her body, is kind of a reddish color. So one thing I wanted you guys to know is that with these guys living in the desert, they see a lot of rocks and things like that, because if you felt her scales are kind of bumpy. Did you guys remember feeling a little bit of a bump on her scales? Well, that's to help her because of where she lives. When she's going down into holes, she's got to have really rough skin so that she doesn't get cut. So that's what these scales, why they're raised. They're kind of bumpy. They're different than what you would see with the boas that live in the water and stuff that was very glossy, or very smooth. So this is a Woma python, and she's kind of like the other ones. She's like a teenager. So she's going to get a little bit bigger, kind of the same size as the other boa that I brought out. And she's not going to change color. She's going to stay this color. But one thing I like about her is look at her belly. Look how orange it is.
Oh my goodness.
Look how orange that is. Pretty neat, huh?
It gets lighter. It gets lighter. I have blue snakes at my house.
All right, so let's
Get out another snake.
I'm going to get out something that isn't a snake, actually. These guys are geckos. What I brought was mommy and baby. This is the mom, and this is one of her babies is in here that hatched. This is Luna.
Mom's name is Luna. And she jumps.
Do you guys want to touch her? She's very nice. She doesn't bite, but she does jump.
She jumps. Yeah.
Very high. And I know they can jump. It's soft.
Yeah.
Very soft.
Very, very soft, kind of velvety.
I want to put it on my hand. Of course, she's so nice.
Just one finger. You guys are doing a great job.
One finger.
One finger. Good job.
Go ahead. You're touching me. He's trying to get it on his hand.
She doesn't want you.
One thing that's really neat about geckos is these guys live in the trees. So she's going to climb up, and look at this. She can hang upside down.
It's because she has sticky stuff on.
Right, that's what you guys need to know about geckos is they have little pads on the bottom of their fingers right here that make it so they can climb upside down and make it so that they can hang straight up like this. They're not going to fall. Pretty neat, huh? Yep. But these guys live in the jungle too. They're a rainforest animal, and they eat fruit. They like to jump. So if they see something that wants to eat them in the trees, they're going to jump to other branches to get away from it. But what they like to eat, what I was explaining, is they're going to find fruit that's fallen to the ground and it's kind of rotting. They like mango a lot. They like banana. This is a baby, and they jump a lot more when they're babies, just so you guys know. I'm not going to let you guys touch her because they're a lot more, you have to be really careful with babies because they can get hurt pretty easy. So this baby was hatched last year. So they're a little bit smaller than this whenever they hatch out. Mom and baby. So she's got some growing to do, huh?
Oh, the baby! I love the baby's eyes.
Yeah, they're cool, huh?
Geckos have eggs, right?
Yes, these geckos have eggs. And one thing I was going to show you guys is they don't have eyelids, so they lick their eyes to keep their eyes wet. You know, your eyes get kind of itchy when they get dry. Well, same thing with geckos. So they're going to lick their eyes to keep their eyes wet. So these are called Amazon tree boas. These guys also live in the trees. And I'm going to show you guys, I have a boy and I have a girl. These are adults, and I have 2 babies here. This is Sunshine here. Now, one thing, these guys live in the trees. I want you to see something. Look at that. They can hold their entire body just by cooling the tail around a branch. So what these guys are going to do is at night, they're going to hang from a branch and they're going to wait for like a little bird, a gecko, or a lizard or a rat or something like that. This is a girl. They're not going to get any bigger than this. She's actually pretty big.
So she can bite the geckos you brought.
No biting. I've got her head here. Be fast. Be really fast. One thing I want you guys to know is all the animals that I brought today, none of them have venom. So they're not going to hurt you like a rattlesnake will. But if they do have teeth, you got to be quick if you want to pet her. You don't have to. So if they bite, they have teeth. And it does hurt a little bit, but you know, it's kind of like if you fall and scrape your leg. It heals pretty fast.
I think the snake can go up like a tree.
Yeah, they can. So they can climb, and they're going to go up in trees, but they can be long too. So they'll wrap around a tree and climb up it.
It's kind of like this long.
Yeah, this one's a little bit longer than that. She's a lot longer than that. So the boys I keep a lot smaller because it's healthier for them to not be fat. The girls, you want them to be a little fatter because they're going to have to use that fat whenever they produce babies inside of them. So this is a boy, and his name is Maximus. He's probably my favorite snake. I love it how they just hang from the branch like that. So one thing you should know about snakes is they don't have very good vision. So they can't see very well, but when you see their tongue flicking like that, they're feeling their surroundings out. So he could probably see shadows, and he can see I'm a lot bigger than him. You see how these guys are different colors?
Yeah.
So one thing that's cool about these guys is when they're babies, they can be all different colors. So these are the same type of snake, but look how different the colors are. Yep, one's got lots of orange, one's kind of a yellow color. So when they have babies, they're going to have babies that are all different colors.
They have the tiny face.
These guys are very, very small.
And they have a tiny face.
So these are baby Amazon tree boas.
Wait, so that one is a girl, isn't it?
I don't know if these are boy or girl yet. They're too small for me to tell. What was your question?
What's inside a snake?
Kind of like us. They have a heart, they have a stomach, they have lungs like us. You know how we have 2 lungs? You have one on each side. Snakes only have 1 lung. They have 1 big lung. They're a lot like us though. Like they have bones just like we do. If they break a bone, it can be really hard for them. But the thing about snakes is they rely on things to eat in the wild, and so if they lose an eye or if they break a bone or something like that, that can make it really hard for them to live, because then another animal will pick them off because they're hurt and they can't get away fast. And sometimes it makes it so they can't hunt and they can't feed very well either. All right, I'm going to give everybody a little bit of hand sanitizer. So you're going to rub this around in your hands. Okay?
Because we don't want the snake's germs.
Yep. You want to make sure your hands are clean.
So we can touch them.
You already did.
You already did touch them.
But on the other day we going to touch them.
Another